This week on Rescue Vet, in a special two-part series to mark the 3rd anniversary of the Russian invasion of Ukraine, I head to the front line of Europe's worst conflict since World War II.
There's bombing 360. The grounds are shaken, the dogs recoil.
To do what I can to help the innocent animal victims of war. On this mission, I'll be tested like never before.
How many dogs does she have?
Nearly 200. Nearly 200, and she works here alone.
200 dogs?
200 dogs, yes.
I'll meet resilient people and their pets.
This is a war puppy. Look.
Living in the toughest of circumstances.
It's the companionship of animals that's giving them hope.
And my passion to help animals in need will lead me to some of the most dangerous places on the planet.
You just need to be very careful where you put your feet here.
I think the shelling has started.
The shelling has started. These bombs are going off just over that hill. These dogs are going to be so traumatized.
In a journey that will change me forever.
If you can just tell her that the reason that I came to Ukraine was to help people. Here goes. This is the pre-trip interview with me, Dr. Scott Miller, and I am going to Ukraine. Sounds pretty crazy, probably is, but everything you see in the news, I think it's just a fraction of what's actually happening.
Here we go.
And the animals need help. I just feel compelled to go.
It's the dead of night after driving from the airport in Poland across the border and arriving in Ukraine. My guides for this journey are 2 ex-SAS soldiers, Tom and his good mate, Gaz. For the past year, they've been putting their lives at risk to help animals and their owners caught up in the war. And this week, I'll be joining them.
Well, we're about 1 kilometre away from our location to our compound stroke shelter, which is 20 kilometres west of Vinnytsia, in the heart of Ukraine.
At any point when we get into the range of these villages, we could be hit by mortars.
Yeah, 100%. When we're operating around the villages, obviously outside Bakhmut and in the surrounding area, then yeah, we'll always be in mortar and artillery range. So that threat's always there, and you're going to hear them, you're going to feel them, we're more than likely going to see them, but hopefully not too close to us, which will be a bonus. But if they are, it's just a case of staying calm, listening to us, and just do everything we say when we say it, and we'll get you out nice and safe. Home sweet home.
This former factory has been converted into the rescue group's operations base.
So this is home away from home now?
It's also home to any sick and injured animals they bring back from the front line.
Phoenix is gorgeous. 2,500 teeth. Such a sweet. I'll have a look at your feet in the morning. Yeah.
With Ukraine's power stations under constant attack, the government have mandated rolling 4-hour blackouts. So my safety briefing for the front line is taking place in the dark.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can get close.
Okay. Yep. Push that up, remember. Covers your vital organs. Pull it in.
your helmet. Helmet, yep. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Makes you feel nervous. Putting all this stuff on, it really does. It's the weight of responsibility and the weight of my decision. But I'm glad I'm wearing it. I'm gonna get home safe to my family, then I'm happy to wear it, so thanks.
Gaz wants to show me exactly why I need to wear body armour.
This is some of the shrapnel we picked up around some of the villages that we deliver aid and that to. So you can see here, that's a piece of shrapnel, comes off an artillery shell or a mortar round.
Can I feel how heavy it is?
Yeah, and that comes off at about 400 miles an hour. So you can imagine the devastation that causes when it hits you or hits a building.
Yeah. So they're designed to break apart?
Yeah,
like this?
so there's a lot of fragmentation, a bit like grenades. When they hit, they're just exploding, like sizes like this to sizes like this. These are like, you feel they're like razor sharp.
I mean, it just looks like the war. It's ugly,
yeah,
and harsh.
That's the reality of it, I'm afraid.
So it's end of day one here at the shelter, and it feels a little bit like the calm before the storm. We are heading out to the front line. So we're going to Kherson. You might have heard of that. That was the city newly liberated by the Ukrainian forces. And apparently it's in quite a state. So I think that'll be the first moment that my eyes open to the actual damage of the war. I've seen the damage affecting animals, but the humanitarian crisis, the actual devastation, hearing the bombs, that will all be tomorrow. It should be quite a day.
Next morning, it's straight to work as we prepare for the mission ahead.
It's your workout for the day?
Yeah.
As well as doing food drops to the front line, we'll be heading to an overcrowded dog shelter where I'll be neutering up to 40 animals.
What?
We're going to give you this
camping table?
We're going to give you this camping table, mate.
And this will be my operating table.
Wow, state of the art. Can I have all four legs? Or?
And you can have all four legs.
Okay,
That's brilliant. I'll do nicely.
Yeah, think? Elena, can he make up for me a stitch-up kit? So basic stitch-up kit?
My next task is to select all the equipment I'll need from the large store of donated medical supplies.
Okay. So just thinking the pressure of thinking I've got to do 40 neuterings in the middle of a war zone is starting to dawn on me. It's quite an undertaking, isn't it? To make sure that you've got everything with you. It's not like, oh, I'll just call my nurse and see if they can grab me something. If I don't bring it right now, it's not coming, and that means I'm not going to be able to do the job effectively. So, yeah, a little bit of pressure.
With the packing complete, our convoy can finally get underway.
Well, as we get going, you'll start to see a gradual pickup of the destruction. So it started at Mykolaiv, where we just was. You saw obviously a few buildings, industrial buildings, a few obviously living buildings, like hotel, block of flats that had been hit. But as we start to get further towards Kherson, is when you see obviously the destruction escalating, the true effects of the war. You're on the road of war now, basically. This is the main highway down. That's seen a lot of fighting, The war's horrific, and a lot of people don't see the aftermath, and you're going to see that today, like how it affects these people and obviously how it affects the animals in the heart of the conflict.
We soon approach the first village on our planned route today. For months, it's been caught up in the crossfire between the Russian and Ukrainian forces.
How dangerous is this village right now, Tom?
It's incredibly dangerous. So not only do you have obviously all the weakened structures, as you can see, well, destroyed structures, obviously they're incredibly weak, so they can collapse at any point, so movement in and around them is incredibly dangerous. the amount of ammunition that's been used on this, obviously on this town to destroy it is astronomical.
Are there any people still living here? One family still living here. The Russians have now retreated, but it's hard to imagine how any human or animal could survive in this devastated landscape.
You just need to be very careful where you put your feet here, because there's stuff littered everywhere that you'll see when you walk down there.
And like landmines and booby
Not
traps.
mines, but there's unexploded ordnance which are sticking out of the ground, and they haven't detonated, so they're still live. So any pressure on it could set them off.
So it's really dangerous stuff.
Yeah.
Should you follow my footsteps?
Yeah.
Say it again.
You walk where I walk.
I will.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You'll be all right. And Gaz will be behind you anyway, so if you start to veer left or right, he'll tell you.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
Cool. You'll be all right.
Our first mission is to look for any animals that are sick, starving, or injured. Reaching them is fraught with danger.
Everything gone.
And it's just obliterated, isn't it? Yeah. And like, why? You know, these are farmers. Like, these are poor people that are just making on this living. I don't understand what's the strategic gain from bombing somewhere like this.
It's not long before we find a dog that's been hit by some kind of shrapnel.
So who have you got here, guys? Hello. Oh, I see. Yeah. I'm sorry. A nasty wound. You got his head because it looks like there might be something in this. Oh, look at that. So that's obviously from an explosion. It's gone right into his paw. Just a little chunk at this. It's quite a deep penetrating wound, so just give it a little bit of a scrub and a flush. Give him some antibiotics, and now that's gone, he should heal nicely. So yeah, he can go. Good boy, it's okay.
Meanwhile, Tom's finding some other vulnerable creatures hiding in the rubble.
Puppies.
There's 11.
Oh my god. You know what, actually, amazingly enough, they're pretty healthy. They're well fed. Nice warm environment. I mean, one of the only groups that sort of exists. You know, Mum's done a great job choosing this, and you've provided the food, so these are ones, unfortunately, that do have to stay in situ.
With the war still so volatile, we leave behind as much food as we can so the villagers can keep feeding their animals.
That's enough food for weeks.
Guys, we've got another 2 adult.
So just in here is the one family that have remained. You can see they've kind of fortified their home as best as possible. And not only are they looking after themselves, but they're actually looking after all the animals that live here in the village.
Before we head off, one of the local farmers asks us to follow him to his house to check on one last patient.
Was born during the occupation, during the war.
So little, but you've got a lovely chubby tummy. Daddy's been doing a great job with you, feeding you. Oh my gosh. War puppy.
This is what he is. This is a war puppy. Look how gorgeous he is. The destruction here is unfathomable. Even the local school has not been spared.
I was in the military, and this is what I used to do on the other side of things, so I can now see it from a civilian's point of view. It upsets me when I come here as well, because I see the devastation. People's lives have just been turned upside down, and the whole life's gone. People had very little to start with, now they've got absolutely nothing left, so yeah, it is heartbreaking.
It's time to leave these stoic people and their animals behind. As we head off on the next leg of our mission. We've now reached the outskirts of Kherson. Just 2 months ago, the Ukrainian army retook the city after 8 months of Russian occupation. We're on our way to a dog shelter that survived the heavy bombing.
A lot of people fled Kherson under the Russian occupation. Obviously a lot of abandoned animals over a long period of time that aren't spayed and neutered.
This must be the shelter manager.
This lady sort of like established and built a little shelter, and she just took in as many dogs as she possibly could.
Wow. Hello doggies.
But she's doing all she can, and straight away as we look now, like these are all a decent weight.
Hello puppies. Hello puppies. Hello. How are you all today? When the Russians invaded, everyone working at the shelter fled, except its manager, Ludmilla. She stayed to look after the animals, despite the danger to her own life.
So this is a makeshift shelter, and they've done the best they can. The bombs are dropping, and it's pretty dire.
The shelter is now overflowing with dogs. To help get the population back under control, we need to neuter as many males as we possibly can. But the problem is where?
So this is what we've been offered to do it in.
Okay. Because the other option is the van, the actual van itself.
So it's not a
Awesome.
problem.
Right, let's go.
How many? Can you just ask how many dogs does she have?
Nearly 200.
How many?
Nearly 200, and she works here alone.
200 dogs.
200 dogs, yes.
And she does it by herself.
Yes. That's
Oh
why
my
it's
God.
a little bit messy.
That's
She needs
amazing.
help.
But there's 20 male dogs that she wants to prioritize over everything else. Is that right? And we're doing all the males just to try and reduce 40 male dogs. Okay.
So let's go.
Let's go for it. Yeah. You can see why I decided that I didn't want to do surgery here. So we will be emptying out the van and doing it in the van because, yeah, to say that's not sterile is an understatement. It is a war zone, of course, so we just have to make do. So that's probably enough room. If you just clear the floor where the food is, that's enough space. I'm happy with that.
With the help of the team, we quickly transform the van into a mobile veterinary clinic.
That's all the drug scrubbing stuff. Yeah.
This is totally fine, and compared to what all the people that live here have to put up with, I'm very happy to play my part.
Before I can start castrating the dogs, I'll first need to show this band of ex-soldiers how to sedate them for surgery.
So use your knee on one side and then find the spine.
Держись, Борька.
And then in. Okay. So it's to the side, it's the lumbar muscles.
Не мешай.
Good dog. Well done.
Which way?
That way.
It's still a bit.
What are you doing, Scotty?
So I am about to put the IV in my first Ukrainian dog to castrate it, and feels good. Feels good to finally be in my element, you know. That's quite a good thing. And it also takes your mind off the fact that we're in an active war zone, which is quite nice.
And it's freezing.
And it's freezing. So yeah, might as well stay busy, hey. 2, 3, up. Keep my surgical site clean. And then over like that. That's it. Next day. I've been around the block a bit longer probably. Oh, gosh, don't take my first slice now.
С правой ноги, со стороны правой ноги.
Where am I going to put the testicles? Yeah, there.
I think the shelling has started.
The shelling has started. Really? Okay. I'm castrating dogs, so the Russians are going to have to wait. Should I be wearing my helmet yet?
So that's just the aftershock. That you could feel it. You feel everything rumbling. That's the aftershock from the blast.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
When you want to start worrying is when they're landing 30, 40 metres away. That's when you want to start worrying.
I want to tell you to start worrying. I'm just worrying about my patient at the moment, so I'm all right on the worry front.
Just you focus on that.
Yep. Okay, so that dog is antibiotics, anti-inflammatories, castrated, it's done. Okay, he's taking this dog for me.
I'll take it. What? Oh, this lady's gonna...
Now, please just be careful. On recovery, they'll bite everyone, including this lady. There you go. Come right down.
Тепло, он очень хочет, чтобы вы понаблюдали сейчас за ним.
With so many dogs to castrate, there's no time to take a lunch break. But luckily, help is on hand.
I must say, I've never eaten lunch and done surgery at the same time, but needs must. My God. I'm eating food whilst cutting off testicles.
Is it possible to have fun during this process? Yes, it is.
But I'm soon brought back to reality. With the bombing getting closer, we decide to wind up the surgeries for the safety of both animals and humans.
It has been a huge day and a massive team effort. We've managed to castrate 10 male dogs. So, you know, that's going to make a big difference because in a population of 200, we've taken 10 out of the breeding population. So that's really great. And this lady, I mean, she is working such difficult circumstances. It's just been a privilege to be able to be here and to help her, really. But this is the last one. And now we can get inside it. And the team have been amazing. I will employ all of them as veterinary nurses after this.
The ever-present shelling brings home just how brave Ludmilla has been to stand by her dogs through this war.
Just want to tell her that I massively respect what she's doing. It must be so hard. I can't believe that she's doing it by
Он
herself.
очень уважает то, что вы делаете, и самостоятельно, и он представляет, какая это тяжелая работа для вас.
Люблю собак.
She just loves dogs.
Спасибо. Спасибо. Спасибо вам большое.
It's tough leaving Ludmilla behind, knowing how much she's managing on her own. As we head off to find a place to sleep for the night, another call comes for help. A stable owner named Kira has an animal in desperate need of veterinary attention.
You can see beautiful horses on either side, but it's not a horse apparently that she wants me to look at.
Lying in front of me is a wild boar.
So obviously this is Kira. What's the pig's name?
Лёша.
Alexa.
Small and he lives here for 11 years.
Okay. And so what's happening at the moment? What's the problem?
I don't know.
He has no temperature 26 degrees and he stopped getting up. So he eats or goes to the toilet, but he still cannot get up.
His feet are very cold. When he's walking, is he walking like this or is he walking like that?
I'm starting to get a picture of what might be going on with this much-loved pig.
Yes. So this is what I think. So he's got pain here. He's got lower back pain. So what's happened here is there's probably pressure on the nerves going to the back legs. That's why the front legs are warm and the back legs are colder. Good. So that's good. It's definitely slower, but he's responding. So what we're going to have to do is to do piggy physiotherapy, which is going to be fun. We've got a sling, okay? So this is how you help her up. So you hold the front, like that, okay?
It might look like an awkward three-way dance, but this controlled movement is critical to Loshan's recovery.
This is basically... And then we'll get you some anti-inflammatories because that's what it is. The pig is painful. All right. There you go. So I'm hoping in about 45 minutes to an hour, it's going to be a lot better. Can you tell her that I love the fact that they've got all these expensive horses, but they really love a wild pig?
Он очень ценит, что у вас такие дорогие, шикарные лошади, а вы столько внимания уделяете просто дикой свинье. Это поразительно.
It's the kind of thing I do. Yeah. I think there's hope. Yes? For Ukraine and for the pig.
Я ногами иду.
With Loshan safe in Kira's loving arms, we head east towards the city of Bakhmut. Here, the Ukrainian forces are struggling to hold on in the face of a ferocious Russian attack.
So this apparently is our bed for the night. It is a mattress of dog food. You excited?
I'll get the candles out.
End of an incredible day here in Ukraine, and Tom and Gaz and I got out early to the villages and saw devastation like I've never seen before. There's a whole village absolutely decimated. It was really shocking. But now we are just outside Bakhmut, and tomorrow is going to get real.
Join me on the next leg of my war vet journey as we deliver life-saving food and medical assistance to animals living in communities under siege.
These bombs are going off just over that hill. It's so loud, the ground is shaking.
Set up a makeshift vaccination clinic for dogs and cats living in an underground bomb shelter. And I performed surgery in the dark on a brave wartime survivor.